What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp. It is May 20th, 2021. Fightful.com with a big news update. Of course, you can go to FightfulSelect.com and get a bunch of exclusive news updates. We had this one up a little bit ago, but due to the nature of the situation and some of the things surrounding it, wanted to talk about it publicly because I think it's something that should be discussed. Velveteen Dream, also known as Patrick Clark, has been released by WWE. He was fired this afternoon, we're told. An email from Canyon Seaman went out to many within WWE around about 4:45 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. Now, there are a lot of allegations and accusations that, due to the nature of them, we have to be careful as a media entity how we cover them and what we say about them, for lack of police report, lack of comment, lack of a lot of things. So there's certain things that we have protections for and certain things that we don't in that regard. But obviously he was just mired in controversy, just completely surrounded by controversy, to the point to where when I would have conversations with wrestlers, they would say, "Have you heard the Velveteen Dream story?" And I would say, "Which one?" Not all about what you all might be thinking about, but there was a lot of alienation. There was a lot of controversy surrounding him, and not just with the things that have been rumored and suggested and put out there on social media. Just a reminder, you don't have to be convicted of any crimes. You don't have to have any charges pressed to be fired from your job. And there are a lot of people who don't have controversy that were fired from their jobs within WWE this week. Now, Velveteen Dream has a 30-day non-compete clause. And, I mean, this was a guy who came into WWE and he had it all in NXT. He had every bit of what you would want out of a star. I mean, he had the charisma, he had the in-ring, he had an incredible look, he had the intangibles, he had it. But unfortunately, those controversies happened. For one, the fact that though they exist happened, and now he is out of WWE. So I got a message about 10 minutes before I found out this news from a high-level WWE performer. And I won't say if it's wrestler or not, but it says, "I'm not going to tell you what I just heard, but I know you will hear it soon enough, so I'll just say it's true." That has got to be the first ever preemptive confirmation I've ever got on a story. And first off, I asked that person, "Are you okay? Like, is everything okay?" But I very rarely has that happened, and that usually means that they're ready for that news to get out there. Now, there are a few things that we can say definitively that did happen that along the way. There was a warrant out for Velveteen Dream's arrest in 2019 when some other situations were going down with Velveteen Dream. As I do with anybody, I kind of look at information. I look, I'm like, hey, do they have a criminal history? Do they have a background or whatever? And I came across, it was in April of 2020 last year, I came across an arrest warrant that had been issued for an incident that happened on November 30th, 2019, where Velveteen Dream was accused of walking up to somebody's vehicle, a 2015 Infiniti, and smashing that window. Now, there were the writer of let me see how I can phrase this. I'll read straight from the word that the warrant that was recalled on February 11, 2020. It said, "From the investigation which has been made, it is the opinion of the writer that this case is not suitable for prosecution. The action is taken to clear the records and release the subject's bond if any has been posted responsive to the above charges. If in custody, defendant should be released, provided there are no other charges against them." The warrant The war or something had claimed that there were video of that incident. I have heard of other incidents within the Performance Center, and there were a lot of wrestlers who would say that he would keep to himself. He was a private person, a little bit different in that regard. But yeah, this almost is and isn't a surprise. You know what I mean? Because there was so much of what happened last year with all the stuff that had emerged. A lot of people thought that he would be released soon thereafter or within the year, and that didn't happen. And Triple H would constantly be asked on the media calls about Velveteen Dream, and it got to the point to where he was very, very clearly frustrated by the questions. But he did not survive this round of cuts. You know, I got to be very careful how I word this. We do have some questions in the chat. Somebody asked how the 30-day non-competes work. There's an out clause in the contracts where if you get cut, there's 30 days attached to it for NXT talent. You get paid for those 30 days. On the main roster, it's 90 days. Now, there are a lot of people that say, oh, let them go, let them free. There are a lot of people that I speak to that are happy that they have 30 and 90-day non-compete clauses because they get paid their salary during that period, and it helps them get on their feet and find new jobs. Like, for example, Chelsea Green right now, she's got a non-compete clause until July 15th. She's getting paid her WWE salary from that new contract she signed until that point. And I know a lot of people, it benefits both sides. WWE doesn't have one of their talent that was just on TV popping up for another company, or somebody who they just released popping up in another company. Maybe that talent is frustrated and upset and mad, and that gives them time to cool off to where they don't say anything wild on somebody else's program. Also, the wrestler gets paid during that period. There's a lot of people asking, where do I think he'll go? Where do I think he'll go? I don't know. I think unless there is responsibility taken for some things, I don't think that he will really get another shot. Tessa Blanchard has not gotten another shot thus far. She has not taken responsibility for a categorically different thing or things that went down. And I mean, we are 11 months removed from the speaking out movement. So yeah, it's a surprise that it happened because it hadn't happened yet. Because it didn't happen 11 months ago. It didn't happen during that period. He had not been around the tapings very much. I know there were people that said he was at the Raw tapings. I don't know if he was or not. I hadn't heard that at all yet. But yeah. I hadn't heard that he had been at Raw. I'll ask and see if anybody saw him there. But he had been popping into open rings, and there was some concern that he might end up coaching there. There was real concern by people outside the Performance Center who were well connected there that had me actually checking on that in recent weeks. But Velveteen Dream gone from WWE. Guys, please subscribe to our channel. We will be posting more news at FightfulSelect.com. That is our lifeblood. If you like what we do here, FightfulSelect.com has a lot of exclusive news, including a story yesterday about a wrestler who almost beat up Drake Wirtz. And I'll be talking to that wrestler very soon. Very, very soon, like next week soon. So keep it locked, Fightful.com, FightfulSelect.com. I'm going to work to find out more on this, and I'll work to, quite honestly, get some of these stories out there that I've heard, and we can't really hammer down some of these without a wrestler straight up saying firsthand that they saw it, that they experienced it, et cetera, et cetera. Thank you all so much. This has been a wild week, a sad one for a lot of people. So Yeah. Fightful.com, guys. We're out.